I get where you guys are coming from. Henry, Kate, you got Leicester next, then a pretty difficult run of games. I don't think anybody genuinely believes you're going to go down. When you look at Southampton, some of the other teams, they're just not very good. But how much longer can Ange be the head coach, be the manager with a 30% win ratio? How long can, because that's since those first 10 games, his win ratio is 30%. How much longer can this go on for, considering it's been 14, 15 months now?
Go on, Kate. I'll let you go first.
Look, I looking at the history of the Tottenham, I don't understand how Ange is sitting there in a job, because managers have been sacked for far less than what he's getting away with. But I think that they're going to give him till the second leg of the Carabao Cup. That's the only thing I can think of, that they're going to give him the chance to sort of go against Liverpool and see if we could proceed with that. I mean, this guy is... I've just run out of things to say about this guy. I mean, yesterday was an absolute disgrace. I mean, I can't even bear to hear George say anything negative about Archie Gray, because to me, he's been one of the standout players of the season. But he didn't know what he was doing yesterday. That team looked completely uncoached. It looks like Ange decided to change formation 10 minutes before the teams walked on the pitch, and no one knew what anyone else was doing. So, look, for me, I don't give a shit who comes in. I just want him out immediately. I don't care if they put me in there, because I still reckon I could get more of a tune out of that lot than he is at the moment. He pisses me off. I think he's rude, and I think he's arrogant, particularly to female reporters. I think he's extremely rude, which I think has only been since he's been under pressure. And it doesn't sit well with me. We saw this media darling. Now we're seeing the results going against him, and I think you're seeing the change of character. And the last few times I've seen him in press conferences when we've lost, I think he's been really arrogant to reporters. And yeah, I just want him out.
Yeah, I get that.
I'm glad you called that out, Kate. I'm glad.
Kate, let me ask you a quick question. What's made you change your mind? Because a few months back, you were kind of give him time. It's absolutely fine that you changed your mind, but I want to know what's been that catalyst.
Because I think everyone's got a breaking point where you watch a match and you go, do you know what? We're going backwards. And I don't care that we've got loads of injuries. That team that we put out yesterday was still good enough to beat Everton. There was still enough quality on that pitch to beat Everton. But that team was uncoached. And that's Ange's job. He's meant to coach the players. And I literally sat and watched it and I thought, that's it. I just can't watch it anymore. I can't justify it. I just can't watch it. It was just an absolute debacle, and probably one of the worst performances I've seen in years and years. And I look at, it was 6 years ago that Pochettino got us to the Champions League final. And I look at where we are now, and it is unbelievable how far we've dropped. And it's not all on Ange, because Levy clearly didn't back Poch. He didn't back every manager that we've had, although he has backed Ange a lot more than previous managers. But I get that George says that he's a yes man, but Ange, this is the job of his life. He's getting $5 million a year, and he's a manager of the Premier League. He ain't going to upset the apple cart. If Levy tells him to say this, that, and the other, he's going to say it. I don't put that on Ange. That's just how I'd do it. I'd say whatever he wants me to say for $5 million a year.
Because you just said that I don't think that makes sense, because you just come out and said that he's arrogant and he's rude and all these things. And if he was that way, then he wouldn't be such a yes man.
Selective arrogance. You can be arrogant to everybody else, just not your boss. Like it's
exactly.
Loads of people are like that.
Yeah, 100%.
If someone says to you, that was a similar result, and he bites their head off, that's different to him saying, oh, all these signings were mine, because his boss has told him, you've got to own the fact that we've signed all these players. I've just had enough of it.
I get that. I've been called out in the comments, so I've got to do this now, because I'll try to be fair. But so first guy says Amorim is at 15%. That isn't true. I think it's actually 27%. But I should be asking that question about Amorim, about his win percentage, because United are at 27%. So I just want to ask the panel, as opposed to me giving an opinion, without having 2 pre-seasons and £400 million be spent, should Man United fans be calling out Amorim in the same way that you guys are Big Ange? Just want to throw it to you guys.
Absolutely not. Ange has had 18 months. He's had a lot longer time to work with our players. Ruben's walked into an absolute shitstorm where the whole club from top to bottom has needed to be changed. I think United fans have got every right to be extremely frustrated at the way their team's performing, but you can see what Ruben wants to do. With Ange, right now, if the club, Ali Gold, the club spokesman's come out today and said that the club are behind him, if that's the case, go and back him this window. Go and bring in a centre-back who can cover for Van der Ven and Romero. Go and bring in a full-back who can cover for Udogie and Porro. Go and bring in a forward right now because we're going to have to play Mikey Moore for the next 2 games now because Werner's not 100% fully fit and Johnson's out for 4 weeks. Like in terms of Ange right now, Kate is absolutely spot on. Everyone's got a breaking point. If we lose to Leicester, I will be astonished if he's the Spurs manager the following day. That Hoffenheim game is Dr. Tottenham all over again. They're 15th. They're in the pits. They're in the trenches, but they won at the weekend. Kramaric, they got just by. Go on.
Can you slightly explain Dr. Tottenham, just in case anyone watching doesn't quite understand what I mean?
Basically, whenever something is going wrong for you, we will help you out.
We give you a tonic.
0 goals in 16 games, and he's twisting and turning 3 of our defenders up and scores a
The way
class.
that I like to put it is Spurs are a team for the community and we feed the homeless. So if you're homeless and you need something, Spurs will feed you.
Food bank.
One plane, if you ain't got a plane, we'll throw you one. If you ain't got a goal, we'll throw you one. That's all it is. Like we feed the homeless.
Love that. Is that a thing that is that the whole fan base know about? Is that a thing that you like all talk about?
I don't know.
Sorry?
And that must hurt as well, because Levy don't like giving nothing away for fucking free as well. Do you know what I mean? That must hurt him.
Yeah, that
Deep down
bastard,
inside.
the arrogance and the front to show his face at Goodison Park, right?
Oh.
He's got the absolute.
You right, George?
I'm looking at it right now. We are 15.
If you know, you know.
We're 8 points off of.
I thought you were showing support doing that.
No. That showing support would be sitting back home with the football directors bringing in players.
But nobody's doing that.
Was his missus there with him, though? Was his missus there with him? That woman that also works with him.
There was a lady next to him, but
Yeah,
that's the missus.
Yeah. They're having. I read a rumor once that they're having a little bit of Al's your father. I've heard they're having a little bit of a.
I said this yesterday when on my instant match reaction. It's at a point now where nothing surprises me with the way we're performing, the tactical changes. Like I said, 10 minutes before a game, we've never played a 3 at the back. Like, what are we doing? We're just completely. We've for Archie Gray and Bergvall at 18 years of age, and they've been absolutely chucked into quicksand. Yeah. And we're now at a point where we've got Leicester. We should be beating Leicester. After that, we've got Brentford, Villa, Man United, Bournemouth, City, and Liverpool. Like, I don't see where, other than Leicester, I don't see where we win a game. So the relegation, everyone's laughing at it.
Man United, you probably beat us. Man, you've got our number this year. To be fair, you'll beat Man United.
Beat Man United and Man City. We run Manchester.
No.
Let me let that know. We run Manchester.
We run Manchester.
I'd have a bet with anyone right now. We run United.
A few super chats here. First one says, "Do you guys think that Ange is becoming like Bielsa?"
It's very similar.
Why have we had 7 more hamstring injuries than anyone else? 7 more hamstring injuries.
No, but you've got extra games as well. Like it's so similar.
You have extra games of a smaller squad.
Okay, how many hamstring injuries does Man City and Man United have?
No, but Man City play a different style than you. They have a more controlled style. They can hold possession. Liverpool have more players than you. They have a bigger squad than you. They have a bigger squad. They rotate.
The same thing happened when he was at Celtic. He was overrun with hamstring injuries. So
how many hamstring injuries do you have? Because I can because, for instance, Man United
we've had hamstring injuries since Ange came in last year. We've had 17.
No, to the same player?
No, 17. Your doggies had 3 different hamstring injuries.
Are you sure?
That's not true. That's not.
That can't be real.
Henry, we know you like to, I know you struggle with reading, but don't find us that information, Henry.
Yeah,
7 or 17.
I know you struggle, Henry. You didn't write it down with your crayons, did you, Henry? Come on now.
Look at it.
He's frozen.
You can actually go through every single one.
Yeah, we can.
Henry, your Wi-Fi is gone.
God says you're lying, bro. That's why it's your Wi-Fi.
Wayne here says, remember when Ange, I will say, Ange being the media darling, there's so many articles. The one that got me was he's a new Fergie. He stopped Spurs being Spursy in 10 games. All of that stuff. I knew the football gods were not going to have that shit. and they came back with a vengeance. Kate, if you can't say something nice, don't say something at all, especially about bags, darling. Yeah, Jimbo, I have heard that you have a bag. I've heard you've got a bit of an handbag, Jimbo. I wonder if this is. Let's each to their own, my friend. I am very comfortable in my sexuality. It's up to you, my friend, if you want to take out Kate's bags. Just don't sniff them. That'd be a bit strange. People do stuff like that, don't they? There are people that nick handbags from shops to go home and smell them. I don't get it. In 2007-8, Spurs finished 11th but won the EFL Cup. Spurs are 15th right now. Is history repeating itself? Yeah, would you guys be happy if you were told league form will barely improve, you'll come 15th, but you win the Carabao Cup? Good season or bad season for the Tottenham?
Bad season. I'll be honest.
Hey, George, don't lie.
Under 10th, anything under 10th and the cup.
Hey, George, don't lie.
I'd bite your hand off for that.
George, hey, that's what I'm saying. These are lying, lying on camera, bro.
Don't listen to George, man. He's lying.
George is getting George is getting a tattoo of that season.
Yeah.
If you won the trophy, that is historical. Literally, that's part of your history.
If we finish 15th in the League Cup, I'd take it.
I've had it. You guys are telling me I should take it, but I've had this in my lifetime and it done nothing for us.
Anything that would worry me.
Everyone knows that stream after George is going to be lit.
George is going to be
I might be happy when we win.
On everything. I'm saying,
finally won the trophy.
What do you know about trophies?
You guys are failing to realize.
Henry and Kate, I appreciate you telling the truth. I really appreciate it.
We're not buying this routine, George. We're not buying it, bro. Good job.
The only thing that would worry me about that
if we go and win that and we get worse throughout the rest of the season, then no, I would want him sacked.
Okay, you're going to say they'll keep Ange in it.
That's exactly right. If we win a trophy, chances are he keeps his job.
He'll
and that's
probably
the worst
stay.
thing.
He'll definitely stay.
Yeah. Standards FC are going to hunt you guys down if you don't celebrate it. Daniel Leave Me says, Daniel Leave Me, it's quite good. He says, our club is like a car in limp mode with Ange at the wheel, hoping he can make it to the garage before the wheels fall off.